Welcome to the Near Memo, a weekly conversation about search, social, and commerce. What happened, why it matters, and the implications for local.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome to the Near Memo with David, Mike, and Greg. And today, this is going to be our final Near Memo of the year as we take a 2-week break and then come back in the new year. And this is the do-over version. We just spent a lot of time giving brilliant insights and then the whole thing crashed. So we're going to try and do this in an accelerated form. So we are talking today about the new Google SERP, the local pack, and reviews, Yelp review survey, and then another survey about Google local guides and their impact on Google local reviews. So with that, Mike Blumenthal, you're on.
So last week, Google rolled out a new local SERP for the desktop, not for mobile, which is more, it's wider instead of longer. So the map has been moved to the right and it fills the whole screen of a 13-inch mobile screen, top to bottom, left to right. It's about 50% bigger than the previous pack if you measure the pixels, or 40% bigger. The map itself is about 150% bigger, although it's square, not rectangle. And the most visual, and a lot more white space. And then there's bigger images on the left side of the pack rather than on the right side of the pack. And those are also about 55% bigger than the previous images. So it's visually much more striking. These packs are available in slightly different variations. There's a transactional version for hotels that includes date of visit and type hotel. There's a sort of consumer version for retail and restaurants that has the image on the left and then specific filters at the top. There's a service pack type that includes no images. For example, for lawyers and HVAC, where it's just, but it includes links to the web and a click to call. And then there's a fourth pack type that Claire Carlisle noted, which is sort of an adventure travel, which includes website link and click to calls or directions and images, sort of a combo pack. Now, interestingly, these packs are not showing on longer tail queries. Like if you're searching not just a category, but a product, they show the old style pack, but they're showing the old style pack often with visual ads to the right and ads above it. So whether the old style pack on these longer tail product driven queries will go away is unclear to me. But as noted in some previous conversation, there aren't a lot of ads above these categorical packs at this point. Whether that's going to change soon, we don't know.
I should have grabbed my tinfoil hat in between recordings, but
I've got mine right here.
So, anyways,
elaborate, David.
So yes, I'm self-anointed president of the Tinfoil Hat Society when it comes to Google and monetizing local. Mike, you've noticed that there are ads that are embedded in the packs themselves. But I was noting that I had yet to see a SERP with the new pack style with traditional Google ads above, which almost every SERP that you see in the old pack style contains a set of at least 3 and usually 4 ads above the pack. And I think one of the reasons that I think all of us find the new pack more visually appealing and easier to sort of grok at first glance and all of these things is just that it's less cluttered. There aren't the ads above it. There aren't ads off to the right-hand side. There's no room for ads to appear on the right-hand side with the new, more horizontal layout. So I'm very curious to see how this impacts what ad units Google rolls out. It's possible that there's going to be a new ad unit to live, I won't say alongside, but likely above this new style pack. I'm sure that they're going to be testing to see, what engagement looks like, what users are clicking on. They're not going to want to lose, 30% of their ad revenue, which is probably coming from local queries today. So I think it's an interesting rollout. Greg, you highlighted probably, I would guess episode 38 or so. We talked about the need for Google to radically overhaul the pack. So this is a pretty interesting release. Mike, you made a really important comment, I think, which is that the map now is square and not horizontal, and that as the viewport for relevant set of businesses could have dramatic impacts on which businesses rank. That depending on how, which direction you were from the sort of categorical centroid, you may be now either inside or outside the new viewport of the square map.
A lot of chatter in the forums about ranking changes, and also that the map might be zoomed in one level further, which would have a dramatic impact, obviously, on who could show or what could show. And as a note on the ad units, I did see on a search for bikes near me, the new local pack with a strip across the top, carousel of the image ads across the top that was full width of the screen. So I have seen some in that context.
I saw something like that too this morning. I hadn't seen it. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, the question for me is, given that they haven't pushed this new design all the way deep into the local results, in other words, longer tail local searches still showed the old design, but with more ads around them than was. There's 3 or 4 ads at the top and a visual on the right, and then the old style pack. And the visual sort of butts up against the pack. The question for me is, will that old style go away on those product driven longer tail searches or not? If so, when? If so, why? If so, is it, or will it stay that way? In other words, they may be putting more ads in some situations and less ads in others. Go ahead, Greg.
So one of the things that I wonder about, because one of the things I wonder about is the impact on LSAs, right? So LSAs were always the most prominent part of that page, and the local pack was sort of less visually prominent versus the LSAs. And now if you've got professional services and then you've got LSAs on top, which which I assume will happen, how will the click-throughs be? Will those LSAs lose some of their sparkle and engagement because of the new local pack? It'll be interesting to see.
All right.
Yeah,
so
Mike did note that the professional service packs don't contain images, right?
Right.
So,
Correct.
You wonder
So that may be
you wonder
why.
if they would distract from the LSA click-throughs
that may be why.
counting on. Yeah.
Right. And
That
I
may
just
be
did
why
a
they're not
search,
doing images.
Lawyer Los Angeles. There's an LSA at the top. Then there are 3 text ads, and then the new pack without images. So you're absolutely right. I mean, this is what they are doing in that highly profitable vertical. They're emphasizing the LSAs.
Yeah, they're not going to.
The pack is.
They're not going to
off-screen.
risk jeopardizing the ad.
Yep.
Right. They're below the fold. Right. Exactly. Right. So they're not. So the very self-consciously, they're not going to jeopardize their lucrative categories probably with this new sort of more visually prominent pack.
And I would assume you'll see the same thing in high value services, locksmiths and moving and all that stuff.
Yep. Yep.
Thanks for joining David, Mike, and Greg. To stay on top of the latest developments in local, subscribe to our newsletter at nearmedia.co. We'll see you next week.